us in such a weakened state. So, we want to drill, baby, drill. That's what Donald Trump always says. We have so much liquid gold.
Biden has drilled more than Trump.
Underneath our... Well, why did he shut down the Keystone XL pipeline?
I have no idea, but Biden,
yeah.
Biden
why
has
did he
drilled
drain
more
our
than Trump.
strategic petroleum reserves, which are actually supposed to be used for emergency situations, for war times? The things
Has Biden drilled more than Trump?
I don't believe that's true.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Where?
You can look it up. He's drilled more than Trump.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's true at all. And
It is.
Okay.
Charlamagne the God got absolutely schooled on his own show by Lara Trump. Lara Trump went on the Breakfast Club podcast to make the case for Donald Trump, which he absolutely did a beautiful job of. Charlamagne the God would try to bring up his failed libtard talking points, but Lara Trump was just not having it. Let's see how this goes down.
We were sending jobs overseas, businesses overseas, that the federal government was bloated and overspending. And he said, this isn't right. This isn't the America that I grew up in and that I think we should, have as a great future for this country. And if you go back to an Oprah interview he did, I believe in the 80s, she asked him, would you ever run for president? And he said, only if things got so bad I felt I had no other choice. And I feel like he thought the country really was on a bad path and he wanted to help bring it back. And so right before his famous golden escalator ride, we actually all sat down as a family. And I'll never forget this because it was one of those moments where, looking back, I say, gosh, he really had such good insight into what was about to happen. We all sat down as a family for dinner, and he talked us through, I want to do this. This is definitely something that is real. But if I do this the right way, if I do what is needed, and I call the people out who need to be called out and expose the things that need to be exposed, they're going to come after us. And it's not just me. It's the whole family. And I think you guys need to really appreciate that. And I need you to understand that and make sure everybody feels good about it. And of course, we were like, well, yeah, like how bad could it be? But the foresight he had into what we've seen happen to this man, and I don't think anyone can argue if his name wasn't Donald Trump and he had never run for politics. I mean, you would never have seen any of the crazy things happen to him that have. So that was sort of where we all kind of got our intro into politics. I didn't become part of things really until I flew down to North Carolina in August of 2016 for a rally with my father-in-law to my hometown in Wilmington. And one thing led to another, and he told me that I was going to be responsible for winning him my home state of North Carolina in the 2016 election. And as a person who had no idea what I was doing in politics, I said, I better learn pretty quickly and get to work. And so that's what I did.
I wonder what he learned from the first time he ran.
Hold on, I just want to know, at that dinner, did y'all say, you know what, well, let's put all our dirt on the table right now because they're going to be coming at you. Press is going to try anything that you guys have ever done. If you guys have stolen a Snicker bar from a store, they're going to come at that. Was that the dinner where you said, well, let's put everything on the table so we know what they're going to be attacking, or that never happened?
I'll be really honest. We really didn't have a lot to put on that table. And if you think that I'm lying, you really believe that anybody in the Trump family with the Trump last name wouldn't have had any and everything exposed by now? No, I mean, I think we naively thought, look, if you have good intentions and you do the right things and you're a good person, then, if Donald Trump became president, I think we all thought after he won in 2016, oh, well, then all the craziness will stop. Everybody will rally behind the person who's president of the United States, because we should all want our president to be successful. That is success for America. And obviously, we were very wrong about that.
Well, what is he? Well, two things. Well, I want to go back to one thing first. I wonder what he learned from his 2000 campaign.
2016 campaign?
Well, he ran in 2000 too, officially.
Oh,
yeah.
I haven't actually talked to him about that.
Yeah,
that's a good question. I mean,
I just brought that up because you said that when you talked about the vice president's campaign in 2020. Sometimes campaigns aren't successful. Joe Biden ran a bunch of times before he actually won.
He sure did.
Trump ran before he actually won. That's why I brought that up.
Well, I don't know if he officially
2000.
ran.
In 2000,
well, he did. If he did, it didn't go very far from my memory. I don't know that there was any official announcement as far as I know. But look, I think he felt the right time was 2016. I think he looked at what was going on. And this is a businessman. And I think a lot of what he did that was very beneficial to this country has to do with businesses, with the economy, with jobs. Those were things that were really important to him. And you hear him talk about it now. He recently was talking about tariffs and how he wants to apply tariffs to countries who are, it's really awful to see how so many jobs, factories have gone overseas. We want to see made in the USA on more. And you saw that happening when he was in the White House. You saw more people employed in this country than we've ever had employed in the history of America. You had more money in your pocket. You had inflation at 1.9%. It was a very different feeling when he was in the White House. And I think that's why you're seeing such great support for this man. You don't have to love everything he says. You don't have to love everything he posts on X or Truth Social or whatever. But you do have to be honest that your life probably felt a lot better with Donald Trump in the White House. And I think that that's one of the reasons that he's working so hard, because he knows he can do the job. He did it one time before.
Question: why are tariffs considered good business when we know that it's going to cause the cost of typical American household items to go up significantly?
You know what I always find funny when these libtards bring up how tariffs are going to make everything go up, is that all of a sudden they understand economy and how it works when it comes to tariffs. Or when it comes to tariffs, then they understand that, yes, this could cause inflation. It could cause products to go up and all that. But when it comes to shutting down the oil refineries, when it comes to printing out a bunch of money that the government's doing right now, that the Democrats are doing, all of a sudden, they don't understand. They become idiots. All of a sudden it's these evil corporations then that are the blame. No, it's not these Democrats. Democrats are wonderful. It's these corporations and their greed that's to blame for it. It's the oil companies and their greed that's to blame for everything all of a sudden. When it comes to raising the minimum wage in California here, for instance, that's not going to cause inflation. That's not going to cause prices to go up. It's just those businesses being greedy. But when it comes to these tariffs, all of a sudden these libtards all of a sudden know that this is going to cause the products to go up. It's so weird how that works.
Like a bunch of economists say that it'll cost the average American $2,600 a year.
I think that he explained this the other day when he was sitting down with, I believe it was Bloomberg, that, look, the reality is that it's going to force people to bring their companies back to the United States. And he really believes that.
But it's going to hurt a lot of American citizens in the process of that, because it's not like these companies are going to turn up and
I don't
change
think
over,
so.
come over back overnight.
Well, let's talk. I mean, if you want to talk about hurting American citizens, the first thing that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris did, their first executive order in the White House, shutting down the Keystone XL pipeline. That was something that gave us our energy independence. It was so bad for America. That drove up gas prices. That caused inflation to continue to go sky high. It enriched our adversaries like Russia and Iran, because now they were supplying oil for the rest of the world instead of the United States. It put us in such a weakened state. So, we want to drill, baby, drill. That's what Donald Trump always says. We have so much liquid gold.
Biden has drilled more than Trump.
Underneath our, why did he shut down the Keystone XL pipeline?
I have no idea, but Biden has drilled more than Trump. Why did he drain our
strategic petroleum reserves, which are actually supposed to be used for emergency situations, for war times? The things
has Biden drilled more than Trump?
I don't believe that's true.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Where?
You can look it up. He's drilled more than Trump.
Okay. Yeah. I don't believe that's true at all. And
it is.
Okay.
Joe Biden drilled more than Donald Trump. What? Who believes that? Their whole campaign was the Democrats are the ones pushing this green agenda, because of climate change, big bad climate change. So they've been pushing this green agenda, and one of their to-dos on the agenda is to, get rid of gas, get rid of these, cut down on oil and on drilling and stuff. Excuse me. And they demonized Trump for wanting to drill more. How can he sit there? 4 years ago, I'm pretty sure he was we got to battle climate change. We gotta shut down the Keystone pipeline. It's bad. We gotta stop drilling. And then 4 years later, now he's like, no, actually, Joe Biden drilled more. How does that make any sense to these people? Their brains are completely rotted away. Any thoughts on this? Comment section? Sound off. Subscribe if you enjoy content like this.
Donald Trump was obviously a proponent of being energy independent and energy dominant as a country. And we are not right now. And that puts us in a very weakened state. And you would not have seen the issue in the Middle East right now. And you likely wouldn't have seen the issue with Russia and Ukraine had those countries, had Iran not had the funding and the money coming in from the oil, had Russia not had the funding and the money coming in from the oil. It's a terrible thing to see. And so, I think that you can look at a lot of things and second guess them with Donald Trump and say, well, what about this? What about that? Think about how it felt. think about how much more money you had in your pocket. Think about so many people were finally able to go on a vacation for the first time when he was in the White House. And those are real tangible things. And right now, life is very hard for so many people in this country. You know, I travel all over the place, and I constantly am in airports and restaurants, and I constantly am approached by people who say, I cannot afford not to vote for Donald Trump. And I think they really mean that. And whether you look at our southern border, the influx of people who've come in this country, it's detrimental to so many aspects of our society. It's something that we've spent so much money on here in New York, $12 billion over 3 years. It's costing the city of New York to house illegal immigrants. And so I think whenever push comes to shove and we're looking at this election right now, there's so many people who might not love everything Donald Trump's ever said, but they certainly want to go vote for him because they want their life back. They want more money in their pocket, and they want a safer community, and they want peace agreements.
There's a lot of people that say that, you know.
Hold on, real quick. I do want to just note that inflation is down, though.
It's coming down.
It's like the 2.5%.
It's coming
just
down,
that the
but
prices
it's not
are still
down.
so elevated.
But wage growth has not kept up with the rise in inflation, and it's causing people to really hurt around this country. They really can't make their basic ends meet right now.
I mean, inflations are down, but the prices are up. I mean, whose fault is that? That's more so the corporations than it is government.
Prices are, say that again?
Inflation is down, but the prices are up.
Inflation is not down nearly.
Oh my God, this is exactly just what I said earlier. Like, they can understand about economy when it comes to the tariffs, but when it comes to the inflation and prices going up and all this stuff caused by the Democrats, all of a sudden they don't know how it works. All of a sudden it's the evil corporations. But when Donald Trump wants to put tariffs, oh no, that's big bad government. Oh, but when the Democrats cause inflation due to their policies, oh well, no, that's the evil greedy corporations. So insane these people are. Great appearance on The Breakfast Club. Absolutely schooling Charlamagne, the low IQ god. If you want to see more of Charlamagne, the low IQ god, get schooled, I have a whole playlist for you on the upper left-hand corner.